This is the Lindsay Stafford Show.
Welcome back to the Lindsay Stafford Show. I'm here today with my guest, Angela Holland. She's got a great story to tell. She's been able to accomplish something that a lot of business owners hope or dream to do, which is sell their business and then, of course, start another one. So we're going to talk to her about that today. But she's also a mom and balances motherhood, being a wife, and a business owner at the same time. And she looks great doing it. So we can all learn a little bit from Angela. She's local here in the Middle Tennessee area, in Franklin, College Grove area specifically. And she is going to tell us a little bit about what she does. Angela, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah,
it's
I'm super excited. I know our first meeting was on Zoom, so
Yes.
it's always great to be in person. Man, there's such a value in that, right?
Yes.
Like,
What a connection.
yes,
Yeah.
the connection piece of, I'm reading a book right now called Boundaries for Leaders, and it's by Henry Cloud. And one of the topics he's talked about actually this morning when I was listening, I try to do a little bit every day, was about the power of in-person connection for teams and for colleagues and things. And there's just such value in it.
There is. Yes. Yeah. It's funny because I grew my first business during COVID, so we didn't have that luxury.
Yeah.
And now that life is back to normal and ready running, it's like, wow, I wonder what the team could have been.
Totally. Yeah. And I will be a guest on Zoom podcast. I've not yet done one on my own show. There are a couple of people I want to have on that I may have to do it on Zoom, but I really love the in-person connection and there's so much value there. So Angela, tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing now. And then I want to dig into your first company that you were able to successfully sell.
Yeah, a little bit about me. Born and raised in Maryland. My dad is an entrepreneur by trade, heart, everything. He built and grew businesses and did a really incredible job doing it. He was also a police officer. There's just a lot about him that I looked up to from a business perspective. He fulfilled his dreams and made a beautiful life for our family. And so I think I'm an entrepreneur by blood.
Yeah.
And I went into dentistry through actually medical and dental sales. It was for a company that my cousins were working for. They were like, come here, you're going to make a great living. I went there, ownership changed, things changed, and I got in too late. But what I did find was a passion for the dental industry. I loved that they were small businesses, most of them at the time in 2014, owned by single to partner dentist. It was very small. And then they had a very small team and they were running these businesses. And what I saw was very successful practices, and then the majority were not successful or optimized. Mm-hmm. And so my business mindset kicks in and it's like, I can help these dentists make more money. I can help them be incredibly productive from a business perspective. And I know people always say, oh, they're a dentist, oh, they're a doctor, they make a ton of money, but that's not reality when a practice is insurance driven. And when they have cost and overhead, most of them don't get even a course in school on how to manage overhead. So they have a lot of money coming in, but they have a lot of money going out. So I found a passion to do that. And I knew that in order for me to do that, I'd have to work in the office to learn the ins and outs. Mm-hmm. So I quit my job and I took a job making $15 an hour.
What were you doing before?
The medical and dental sales.
Okay, sales. Okay, got it.
Sales. So I quit my job, took a job making $15 an hour as a front office receptionist, and I just dug all in. Very quickly, I escalated and was promoted to an office manager and grew the practice very successfully with the owner, so much so that he sold it for, I think, close to $1 million more than he would have been able to sell it.
Amazing.
And what I did during that time was not only did I make more than $15 an hour pretty quickly, but I learned the reality of being in the trenches and what the day-to-day looks like and where those holes are in the production of the business. And insurance was a huge hole. It was 2018 by this time. And there was one company in the industry that had kind of become the outsourced billing company, revenue cycle management, RCM company in the dental industry. And I said, I'm going to do what they do, but I'm going to do it better.
Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm biased. I did it a little better, but I did it better in the sense of we weren't just about more is better. It was about the white glove service. Mm-hmm. We provided a service that every single client loved. And so much so that there were no contracts. And in 2019 is when I officially started the company, and I built my company from myself at my kitchen table. And just to kind of give you insight, my husband and I sacrificed a lot to do so.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah.
I want to hear all of that.
Okay, so I came home and I said, I'm working as a W-2 front office manager of a dental practice. And I said to my husband, who worked for the government at the time, I said, hey, I want to quit my job. I want to start a business. And we've got to sell our house to do it.
Did you have kids then?
We did not have kids.
Okay, because your kids are how old now?
I have a 2 and a 4-year-old
Okay.
now. My first was born in 2021.
I have to do the same thing. I'm like, wait,
yeah.
we got married in 06. We had her in 07. Yeah, 07.
The math, yes. And we had gone through, we had lost a son during pregnancy, very far along. So we had gone through a lot to get to the point we were. And it was after we lost the son, I kind of looked at my life and was like, what do I want?
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't go back into the nursery. So my husband and I were like, this is actually kind of perfect. Let's sell this house. Let's get out of this house. Let's shake this, I don't know, energy. Let's shake whatever we're in. And we sold our house. We had a beautiful pool, but we had payments on the pool. Mm-hmm. We had beautiful cars, but we had payments on the cars. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. But when I looked at my husband and said, I'm going to figure out how to grow this business with no support, we've got to get our payments down. We can't have the overhead, right? So we sold our house, we paid everything off, and we had our mortgage, and, got less sexy cars. And
Were you in Maryland at the time?
We were in Arizona. My husband and I met in Arizona. He worked for the government. I worked with the medical and dental company, and he worked in majority of men were with his division. And then I was in these dental practices, and I was like, I'm not going to marry a dentist. So we met on eHarmony. Actually.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a true love story though, right?
So cool.
Yeah, it worked. And so then we sold our house, we got the payments down, and I remember sitting at my kitchen table, just pumping out, being the one doing the billing, figuring out what the map looked like, how to do this. I didn't even have experience in my first client. I pounded the pavement. That's one thing that I learned from my medical and dental sales. You don't make hay if you don't go outside type of thing, right? So I pounded the pavement, and I got my first client in Scottsdale, Arizona, and she was on a software that I didn't know. And she's like, can you work with this? And I'm like, absolutely. Of course I can.
I've got it. Yes, say yes and figure the rest out later.
And that's what I did, truly. Yeah. So my intentions were always the right intentions. I will help them. I will figure it out. It did not come without its hard times and hard mornings. And I remember my husband leaving in the morning. I'd be at the kitchen table working, and then he'd come home in the evening and I'd be still at the kitchen table working. He'd go to bed. I'd still be at the kitchen table working. So those 14, 15-hour days, I mean, they were hard. And I don't think I could have done that with children.
Right.
So
you could have. It would have been harder. Like you figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. But I do believe that time was better. Like there was a plan type of thing. I don't know. So I grew my company very quickly. In 2019, then COVID happened, and all of a sudden the offices were closed, but they still had hundreds of thousands of dollars in outstanding claims that needed to be paid. So I made it my personal mission, and then I grew my team one person at a time, because these office managers were not able to go to work. They weren't getting paid. So everyone starts looking for work, and it was almost the most beautiful, unfolding perspective for me as someone building a business during this time that was remote based. And I learned very quickly how to manage a team from remote. I learned very quickly who works hard, who doesn't, and like how to scale. So by the time I sold, the company grew from 2019 to 2020. I sold in September of 2023. And during that time, by the time I sold, I had 34 billing specialists. We were nationwide. We worked with practices all over the US, hundreds of clients, and we were kicking butt.
Yeah. Yes, I love this story.
Yes, we were kicking butt.
It was my kind of story.
It was incredible. My entire team ended up being a team of women. So we were all either moms, single moms, working moms, whatever it was. And it was just, we were powerful. I still keep connected with quite a few of them, and we were just very powerful. And during that time, I ended up conceiving my first daughter, And we were going through IVF at the time during,
Wow.
as I grew
While
the
you're
company.
doing that, going through that journey after the loss of a baby too.
Yeah.
Nobody sees that what's behind the curtain.
No.
Like to everybody else, it probably looked like you were like queen of the freaking world and everything was in your favor. And you know, the whole analogy or that gif of like the iceberg where you only see like the top.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're going through all of that. Cause I've never been through that journey, but I know it's gotta be very challenging.
It was traumatizing. It was emotional. The loss of our son in the way, it was all just, it was a lot. Trying to grow a business while trying to grow a baby. It was just, I don't know, it was a lot. But we ended up, all of our embryos were boys and we were moving because we love to move. So I said to my husband, you know, I don't know what's going on with my body, but I feel different. He's like, you should take a pregnancy test. And I'm like, John, sure enough, I was spontaneously pregnant with my daughter. We were supposed to have all boys. I had like accepted.
Wow, I just got chills. Yeah. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So during this business growth, I was also growing my daughter, also growing our marriage because we had a lot of, you know, figuring things out from the loss. And we were doing wonderfully. It was hard. There was the tears. I'll spare you it. But yes, the journey was a journey. And then 2023 comes around. I'm now pregnant with my second daughter, chasing a toddler.
So again, organic pregnancy.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yep. Yes. I know. It's amazing what our bodies do. I think when we can just kind of take a moment.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so a company approached me, a NASDAQ a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ approached me about purchasing and acquiring my company. And at the time, chasing the toddlers, managing these team of amazing women, but still having to manage them, manage the offices, everything. And it all sounded really incredible. It was an offer I couldn't refuse. And the beauty in this acquisition was they wanted me to stay on the team to develop this division and go from 150 clients to 1,500 clients.
Sure.
And the more dentists that I personally can help, there's fulfillment in that for me. I genuinely want to help them. I believe that this is kind of rigged against them. The insurance industry is rigged against them. And I love bringing light to that and showing them how to do better. So when I sold, things changed. This NASDAQ company wasn't everything that I thought it was. I saw a clear picture very quickly. It's interesting that you mentioned the in-person because most of this was done over Zoom, right?
Sure. It was still post 2020. I feel like probably until 24, people were still in the post-COVID virtual is everything.
Absolutely. And just the way I was growing my company and then I was pregnant, so I wasn't traveling. I mean, I met them over Zoom. I spoke with them quite a few times. We had some great meetings and I did not meet them in person until post-acquisition, which is wild. Lesson learned.
How long was the start of the conversations with them till the closing?
It was about 9 months.
Yeah.
So we started in January. My daughter was due in February, and the acquisition did not happen until September 1st.
Got it.
And I stayed on with them for 6 months. And
a long 6 months, I'm guessing.
It was a long 6 months. There was no contracted amount of time for me to stay on. So every day I'd look at my team and I'd look at what we had built and I would say, are we going to do this? Am I going to do this? And I would deal with the mess that corporate brought and the realities of what was happening. And none of my team saw any of that.
Right.
You know, it was
you are the filter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to make a decision for myself and my family and my reputation and my, honestly, like the ability for me to sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
I was having, weird things were happening with my clients who I had for 4, my very first client stayed on with me until I sold and thereafter. Yeah. We provide incredible service and had amazing relationships. And, they were triple charging clients and just weird things were happening regularly. So I just had to make a decision if morally and with my values, did it align? And it didn't at the end of the day, unfortunately. So from a professional, the choice to sell the company didn't seem as difficult. Maybe I was naive in that, but it was like a no-brainer for me. It was, you're going to give me money. I'm going to give you what I've built, and then we're going to make it bigger and make more money. It was a no-brainer.
And help more people.
Yes.
All at the same time.
Yes. It was a no-brainer. It was like a beautiful picture. And so February of 2024, I had to make a decision, and that's where I pulled the trigger. In the meantime, I was working to get another business started.
So you didn't have a contract for how long you had to work for them?
No.
They wrote you a check without saying, I mean, usually there's like a time frame there.
Usually there is, and there would have been, and it was all my attorney after the fact was like, who wrote this contract? Right. But I was naive. You're just starting out. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're young. It's a first time for anything is hard, right? Yep. Like even going on vacation, I was saying like this year we stayed in a different place for fall break than we normally do. And now I know what to expect next year. Like, so selling a business, like the first time you do it, yes,
you're learning everything.
Everything. Yes. And I'm trying to pretend that I know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, there was no contract for me to stay on, which a dear friend and mentor of mine, his big thing that he kept saying was, you make sure that whatever the contract looks like, whatever that timeline is for you, works for you. Yeah. Because if you can't get out of it, then.
Right.
So when they presented it to me with no time frame, my intention, I signed a non-compete. Sure. So my intentions were, I'm not going to compete with you. My intentions were to stay there.
Yeah.
But there was no time frame. So I quickly I processed everything. It was a moment of processing. Am I going to walk away from my team? Is this really going to happen? And at the end of the day, I had to make that decision to move on. So in January 2024, I started my current company, Preferred Dental Solutions, and we have abided by the non-compete, which is actually gone now.
Oh, good.
And it allowed me to continue to work with dentists and help them in a way that I'm so passionate about, but not breach any sort of contract because I'm not in it for.
Yeah, why?
I'm here to do things the right way. Yeah. And February of 2024, I resigned from my position with the NASDAQ company. And honestly, the momentum flourished, like hit the ground running, took off. It was obviously the right decision for me and my family. I sleep better. I feel better. It's the right decision. And I felt sick about leaving my team. It was not a pretty day, pretty week, pretty month. But what has come of that is my team has also left and started their own companies. Mm-hmm. And it has been incredible to see these women that we had grown, 4 to 5 years together become business owners themselves and be able to do this process on their own. So it has been a very cool unraveling.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, very.
Necessary endings are hard. Yeah. But there are always going to be necessary endings, and there's always that bittersweet. It's not the same story, but I remember you're taking me back to when I left retail, the last retail position I had. I wasn't even sure I was going to take another one. I was working for Nike, left and went to Eagle. And when I took the job, I was like, all right, I've been building these businesses. Do I take another job or just go all in on this? And I was like, all right, I'm going to do one more couple years and like just see it through because I was ready for something different. And the day that I had to walk away and like tell my team that I was leaving, because I was like, I'm just going to focus on what I've been building. It was time. I probably took one. I probably should never have gone there, but it is what it is. There's a lot of good that happened from that, but that's never a good moment or feeling when you have to like walk away. But it's so critical as a business owner to understand that you have to make decisions that are right for your business, even when they're hard.
Yep. I think that was the biggest lesson. And I genuinely look back at, I do it all the time. I look back on the trajectory of how everything played out. I would not do anything differently.
Yeah.
I think I sold to the wrong company, but from that, so many beautiful things have come, And so I truly don't think I would have done anything differently. The team made out better. We have all, it was the right journey.
Yeah.
So then I just hit the ground running with my new company. And actually my husband has come on board. My sister has come in on a consulting level, and we have been shaking and baking, and we get to help dentists, which is my passion. Working with the dentist, giving them insight into an opportunity that they don't have insight into. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
So tell us what you're doing now.
Yeah. So we do insurance. So we work with practices that are PPO driven, PPO insurance driven. And if they work with 5 or more PPOs, chances are they're leaving money on the table from their networking perspective. They're also probably leaving money on the table from their billing perspective, but I don't do that anymore. So
not right now.
No, we work with startups or acquisitions, and we set them up with our trademark pending process. It's strategic credentialing. I believe this may not be, dinner table conversation, but it will be practice conversations. If you are not strategic credentialing your practice, you're starting off wrong.
Wow.
Now, the good thing is if you didn't do it that way, we can help you.
Yeah.
And so if you're an existing practice and PPO driven, we have what we call fee negotiations and network optimization. It's a really long process. We become really close partners for about 9 to 15 months.
Wow.
And we execute a full PPO reset for the practice. Our goal is minimal patient attrition, maximum return on investment. And we are helping single dentist locations find over $150,000 that they had not tapped into. Doing
annually.
The same work annually.
Yeah.
Same work, same code, same patients, and they are making out so much better. And it's incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
I want to understand what the company, who is in the company right now? So you started with just you when you launched this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now
we have teams. I have teams from Arizona. And then I have some girls that are contractors. I'm not sure what state they are, but they help us with the data input. And then the PPO negotiations are all over the US. So we don't outsource anything outside the US. And we have a team of 7 people that work the accounts, and, it's incredible.
I love hearing the story and the success. So talk to us about when a dentist wants to work with you, tell us how that works.
Sure. So a lot of times a dentist will call us in a panic and they feel like it's too little too late. It's not too little too late. I've had doctors saying, I want to close my doors, and their consultant said, don't close the doors. Maybe we can salvage something and sell. Well, she's now going to sell her practice and profit on that, which is incredible. So I think I get a lot of dentists that are currently burnt out. They're working harder than ever, on more patients than ever, making less money than ever.
Yep.
And I want to prevent that through proper credentialing from the beginning. But if we can't do that, then we can make up for it on the back end. So they schedule a free consultation. Preferred Dental Solutions is our website. And they schedule a free consultation with me, the insurance expert, to see if they're even qualified to work with us, if there's opportunity to generate revenue for them, because we have a money back guarantee. So if they don't qualify, then a lot of times I can point them in the right directions and connect them with the right people to help in their specific scenario. But we will not work with a client that we cannot increase revenue.
Yeah. It makes so much sense. So much of what you're saying resonates with me. I mean, I already said, like last time we talked, we're like, we just have to be friends because, they're like the same, but same mindset. But that's largely how we operate too. And we're doing very similar services in different industries,
so cool.
Which is interesting, right? So when we go in and do operations overhaul for clients, it's the same thing. We're finding opportunities, streamlining efficiencies, making them more productive, more efficient, more profitable. And it's really fun to be able to do that.
Well, you see someone going from working the grind to loving what they do again. And that's something that I personally, as an entrepreneur, am struggling with, is balancing the grind. It's so much easier to help other people than easier said than done. Or
Jim and I talk about this all the time. It's like the cobbler's kid doesn't have shoes, right? I'm like, oh, wait a second. I was telling someone the other day, like, you should really my chiropractor, who's amazing, Life Force Chiropractic Care in Cool Springs. And I was saying, Colin, you should just do like quick little videos. And I'm like, yes. And here I am telling you this. And when's the last time I did like a quick tip video? I really need to be better about doing it. It's so much easier to help other people than it is to help yourself.
Yes. And you see them come back to life, and you see the passion, because most of us are in something that we do love to do. It's just the day to day. It's a lot.
It's a grind. It's hard. And a lot of businesses think they can do it on their own, and they really need a consultant or a support. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a business coach, I always tell business owners, if you don't have a business coach, like, you're doing it wrong. You need someone outside, someone external that is in the day to day with you, that understands what you're going through. And that's what we do. Business coaching, business consulting.
Yes.
I'm fortunate. My dad is my business coach. They live next door and we walk or work out together or both every single day, except for Wednesdays, because I have BNI in the morning. And I'm so fortunate. It's my dad, who is a very successful businessman and who gives me his time every day, doesn't charge me, but expects me to show up.
That's right.
And that's what you need. So you're able to go in and help be that other second set of eyes for business owners. There's so many issues with student loan debt, especially in doctor or dentist world, where they've got these astronomical $300, $400, $500, $1,000 worth of student loan debt. And they know how to do their practice, but they don't know how to do the business side, right?
Absolutely.
You said that in the beginning and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what happened to me. I was like, you're leaving so much opportunity. I have to help you figure that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what it is. And I feel the same way. Like, I know my expertise in the entrepreneurial piece. My dad is also my free coach.
Oh, I love that.
And it's because the outside perspective is valuable, but also someone invested in what you're invested in is so valuable.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I very parallel with you on that.
Yeah, that's so fun. So tell me a little bit about how you balance or what you struggle with balancing it all. Because your children are how old?
I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Okay.
And they are busy girls. And this is what I wanted. This is what I planned for. So we have, ever since my first daughter was born, we have had an in-home, she does not live with us, nanny, and works for us during office hours. So I am able to focus on work during that time. I'm also able to be a mom if my kids are homesick or whatever it may be. My 4-year-old just started preschool. Whatever they may need me for, I'm right there. And that is truly the best of both worlds. When Tennessee shuts down with the snow, I get to enjoy that time with my children. That's just very important to me, that I don't forget what this rat race is all about, and the speed. Because I drive and drive and drive. And then when I'm able to just take a step back and realize how incredible we have it, and what I'm focused on and why I'm focused on it. Because I'll grow another business. I tell you that right now, Lindsay. I have no doubt. I will always.
There will be another one.
There will always be another one. But I get one shot with my girls, and that's what we're focused on. So we have a nanny come to our house 8 to 3 Monday through Friday, and I get to be done work at 3 p.m. Emails and phone calls don't stop, but I'm able to work in a way that works for my family. Yeah,
you can respond in between when you're doing things.
Sure.
Yeah. So you've set it up so that, and I love your point. I mean, Angela, this is like, anyone who knows me knows that I will say time is your most precious commodity. And I'm very particular with who gets my time and how much time that is and what I'm doing with my time. And I've talked about it a lot on the podcast, like really protecting your mindset and your morning routine and your evening routine and, families first and all those things. And I think a lot of times for business owners, what's hard for me to watch is that the business takes over their life and they're no longer running the business is running them. And it's sad. And especially for women, we carry like 7 million thoughts every second in our head, and trying to execute as a business owner, you have to have some guardrails. And so for you to say 8 to 3, I'm working, that's my working time. And that's where I'm not going to be present, right? I'm not going to be here. But then I'm going to be 100% here afterwards. Does your husband have the same schedule?
Yes. For the most part, he'll stay late. He had to learn this new language. So my husband came in, worked in the government, law enforcement side of government for 14 years. And that's all I ever knew him as. And we decided that it was best, because of his attention to detail, to learn what I do. And he runs our credentialing division now. And he's incredible at it. So his attention to detail is my, where I lack in attention to detail from a paperwork perspective.
Sure. Most visionaries, I feel the same way. My husband is great at that. I'm not great at that.
No, I need you to review what I wrote, cross my T's, dot my I's for me. Yes. And so that's what he is truly incredible at. He's also incredible at setting the boundaries for me and helping me reinforce that, because he did government work. So when you go to the government and you go to work, you work from this hour to this hour, you clock out and you go home.
Right.
Right. We don't do that. And as entrepreneurs, we don't do that. As business owners, most of us don't do that.
Yeah.
So he'll remind me, hey, why are you emailing right now? Hey, that can wait. And I need that reminder. And I am actively working to focus and get better at that myself. But it's been so valuable having him remind me, or now he's to the point where he can say, let me handle that so you can focus on this with the children that you want to focus on.
Yeah.
And so we get this really beautiful yin and yang balance that I'm very thankful for. And I could not grow Preferred without him, both the first time or the second time. It's funny because my company's
amazing.
Preferred Dental Services was the first one, and now it's Preferred Dental Solutions. So both of the preferred companies, I could not do without his support.
It's so critical to have a partner that gets it, that supports you, and that can balance where you struggle, right? So it sounds like you guys have figured that piece out. I'm sure there's day-to-day opportunities, and like every marriage and every partnership, there's always challenges. What are some of the rules you guys have in place for how you handle those challenges?
Yeah. In the beginning, I wanted to talk shop outside of office hours quite a bit, and he did not. And so we had to come to a center ground where sometimes we get to talk pillow shop talk, and I just love it.
Yeah. You're like, thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, I love this. Yeah. But sometimes he'll say to me, hey, I'm not in the mindset to talk about it right now. And I have had to learn to respect that, but he also has to understand that I truly am a visionary.
Yeah.
And so it's always going.
It's going to be there.
Yes. Yeah. And so he's learned a way to accept that, and vice versa. And there are times where I'm like, hey, I know right now is not, but we need to discuss this for X, Y, and Z, just like in a marriage, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I think that as partners, both professionally and in our marriage, we have learned that communication is just key. That's truly what it comes down to. So when one of us is lacking or whatever, the communication is where it is.
Yeah. So great. Yeah. I had lunch with a mentor of mine and his wife. They're both awesome. They live in Hawaii. His name's Mike, and he's just been a really instrumental part of the last few years of my life and career. You know, just you find these people that like, you're like, I'm collecting my mentors, and now you're like my board of directors. You may not even know you're on it, but you're on it.
Yep.
And they had a business together and sold it. And so during our lunch, we were just talking about, business. And he said, I'm the boss at home. She's the boss at work. And we had to separate that. And I thought that was such interesting and good advice for someone who is in business with their partner to establish like who is the one who's ultimately in charge. And you kind of have to have that of like, I had another Tim and Ashley Rayner who own Fit15 Athletics here. They're awesome people. If you're looking for a personal trainer, they're fantastic. And that's what they said. Like they had to have the same, like ultimately Tim is like the one in charge. And that's just, they have to know that he's going to be the final say.
That's really interesting. And maybe our dynamic was different because we didn't go into the industry at the same time. So I think this works so well because I am the boss.
Yeah.
And so when at work, so I think it does work really well because he's humble enough to say, I don't know how to do this. How do I do it?
It was your thing first.
And I'm able to show him, which I think that maybe that is why it works because it's clearly defined.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, he very much comes with ideas. He comes with solutions, everything. But I guess at the final say may be.
Yeah, you don't want to say it because you don't want to bruise his ego, but like it is, ultimately it was your business. You started it. Right. And he's going to respect that it was your baby first. And I think that's so.
I think the respect that he has for that, it is. And he has stepped up in ways that he was not an entrepreneur. He was a government employee. So he has gotten out of his comfort zone to think in a way of an entrepreneur and to get a little more creative and to be more looking for opportunities all the time. And so I think it's just created a different dynamic in our marriage and our working relationship that both of us haven't known. But he does respect me as the boss at work. And I think that must be why it works.
It has to be, because there can't be two people that are like butting heads over who's the ultimate sign off, right? And I think you have to have that and just like be okay with it.
Yes.
And Mike and Jody, who were telling me this story, we have so much, Dave, my husband and I both have so much respect for them and their marriage. And they're just like, doing it all right. You know, they're just like, they just made it happen.
Those are fun people to know.
So fun and like so good to have in your corner. And Mike said, like they said, it was hard at first to like, okay, Jody's the boss at work, you know, and that was hard for them to adjust to at first.
Yes.
And I think it's so important. But being a strong visionary entrepreneur female has its own set of challenges, particularly as it relates to your personal life. And I think I'm willing to bet, we haven't spent a ton of time together, but I'm willing to bet we have a lot of the same challenges with like, it just doesn't shut off. You're always thinking about it. Like, so we went out on, I'm totally interested in your perspective on this. You have little kids and you're younger than me, I think, but we went to on Broadway. So it was my husband's birthday on Sunday. So we did like this 5-day, we had good friends,
So fun.
2 of our good friends come visit, his best friend from childhood, another really good friend, like that we'd consider family, right? And they stayed with us for a couple nights and we got an Airbnb downtown and we stayed downtown for 2 nights. They went out on Broadway on Saturday night. I went to bed at 10:30. They went out.
You sound like me.
Yeah. Yes. Like, I'm like, no thanks. But I went out last night or Sunday night with them on Broadway. And I'm standing there, you know, at whatever bar and I'm just thinking, what is the point of this? Like, this is such a waste of my time. Not that I didn't want to be with the people I was with. Like, they're awesome. I enjoy being with them. It was fun for them. We had 2 single guys with us. Like, they want to live it up. And we're like, okay, we'll go with you. But like, it's just never something I'd be like, that is something I want to do. That sounds like so much fun, right? Because that like non-productive and like not valuable relationships with people I'm never going to see or talk to again. Seems so like a waste.
I think it's because our time is so valuable. I agree.
Right.
So I have lived in Franklin, Nashville area. I have lived here for a little over 2 years. I have been to Broadway twice. One was for lunch.
Yeah. Me too.
And so like
I've been more than twice. But.
Yeah. So it's truly where our time is valued. And my family, of course, is number one. But then comes my business and support, being around winners. And I think also the more mature, the older, wiser that we get, we just kind of realize where those people hang out that we want to be associated with. And it's not our family friends just came in town for my husband's birthday as well.
Oh, fun.
And it's not that we didn't, want to be with them, but like the going out, it's different. We ended up doing Jeff Ruby's downtown for dinner.
Oh, nice.
And we were home because we didn't have a sitter. My parents helped. So we didn't stay out late anyways. And all 4 of us came home. We're like, it was perfect. It was a perfect night. We were home by, 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then the whole next day is thrown off. Oh, right. Yeah. Like, you're out of your routine. I couldn't wait today. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't change anything. We had the best time and like, it was awesome. I just find myself that unless there's a catalyst of like that particular situation, that would never be something that I would choose to do, right? Like if you were like, hey, let's go have dinner once a month and have a strategic conversation about business, I'd be like, sign me up for that.
Yes, I'll be there.
Or do you want to just go and have drinks and like be with random people? No, I don't have a desire to do that.
Absolutely. Agreed.
But like, let's make it intentional. So there's got to be something there. It's like,
I think so. And I think that just feeling good and being around people that make you feel good and inspired. There was recently a mastermind conversation. I need to be careful with my words because if somebody's listening to this, there are masterminds in the industry to help entrepreneurs scale and grow. And I think they're super valuable when done the right way, right?
Sure.
There's also cult-like masterminds. And I was at a recent dental convention and I witnessed like a cult-like mastermind was happening. And you pay about $30,000 a year to be a part of this, maybe more. And you have to go on vacations and all this stuff. And I had to look at the gentleman who was inviting me. And there's nothing, I have nothing but positive things to say. I think they're doing great things in the industry. I don't think anything.
Just wasn't your cup of tea.
But for me personally, I cannot go out, party all weekend, strategize my business, and go on vacations every year without my family to grow my business. Like that's just not who I am or how I want to scale my business. I want to be at home or with people locally that can help and that we do this or even, but I said to my husband, I was like, is it weird that I have no interest to go on a vacation without you? That doesn't,
No.
I want to go on vacation with my people. And as much as I'm sure it's a great time, I'm sure, but like I can't hang. So I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I just can't
feel the
join.
same
Like,
way.
I can't hang.
And if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Yeah.
So in my book, it's like I weigh, and I think to your point, like the older we get, And the more work we do internally to like set better boundaries and get better at in tune with what we need and what we want to thrive.
Yeah.
I find myself saying no a lot more. And I used to be, years ago, a yes person. Like, yes, that sounds great. Yeah. And then I'd get there and be like, why am I doing this? I don't really want to do this. So now if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And I think I respect people that will have those boundaries. Recently, I invited my sister, who's actually going to be on my podcast today. Aww. So this will be the first non-business owner. Anyways, I'm super excited to have her here. But I asked her, I love Kenny Chesney and have his book signing coming up next month. And I, of course, was like, buy 4 tickets to my assistant, or get 4 tickets. I'll find people to go, thinking everyone else is going to love this as much as I did. Well, come to find out, nobody else is really excited about Kenny Chesney's book tour, which is fine.
That's so funny.
It's fine. But I invited my sister. I said, do you want to go? And she goes, I'm not like feeling like it's a hell yes. So like, no. And I'm like, cool. I'm not upset with you at all. Like,
right.
Good.
Yeah.
I know that if you're with me, it's because you really want to be there with me. And it's not because you feel like you had to say yes to something. And I think that's kind of what you and I are talking about is, and you can kind of come off as rude or insensitive or whatever other names you want to come up with for women that are comfortable saying no and are comfortable setting those boundaries. But that is kind of what it takes because you can only fit so many things in a day.
For sure. And I don't even feel like there's enough hours in the day for what I do need to fit. So it is never a personal decision for anyone else except for me when I say no to things. And maybe I'll join like specifically that mastermind. Maybe I'll join that when my children are older.
Absolutely.
And I'm in a different phase of life. But right now my babies are my children and my business. And that's what I'm focused on nurturing right now. Yeah. That's what I put my time and energy into.
I love that. I love that for you. I love that you have those boundaries and your kids are so little that you're going to have just such an incredible experience being able to be present for them doing all the work that you're doing. So it has been so awesome chatting with you. I know we're up on time here. We could probably continue the conversation for a long time. But I really appreciate you being here, Angela. So tell everybody where we can find you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
You can find me on LinkedIn, Angela Holland. I am the founder of Preferred Dental Solutions. And you can also find us online if you'd like to have a free consultation about your PPO practice, www.preferreddentalsolutions.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We'll have to have you back again. I know there's going to be some evolutions in your business, so I'll need an update, I'm sure.
I think so.
And for all of you listening or watching, thanks for tuning in to the Lindsay Stafford Show. We're here to help business owners get better, more efficient, more productive, more profitable, and just gain insight from other business owners. So if you found some interest in this or you think somebody else might like it, share it, like it, rate it, review it, and follow us.